How to start a business is one of the most often asked questions by those that are around me that find out that I'm a business coach. So I'm assuming the reason you're here is you are considering or have considered starting a business, that you've never owned or started a business as well. So this is the very basic principle of how to start a business, because that is the number one holdup that I have found from so many people that want to start a business and yet haven't. There's lots of reasons why they haven't. The timing isn't right. They just had a child. They just bought a house. They just got married. There's lots of different scenarios. But I want to help ease that pain, because I remember when I started my first business back in the 90s, the resources weren't available. Google wasn't around. I had to pay an accountant to figure out the structure of my business. I had to pay an attorney to discover the legalities of my business. The resources just weren't there. And if I didn't do that, I had to actually go to the library, rent out a big old thick book and read it. Of course, that would take me a week or two just to try to understand it. Today, the resources are available. Our YouTube channel has almost every area of business that you can think of in short little bits of information, anywhere from 2 minutes to 30 minutes, anything you can find. In fact, while you're here, go ahead and subscribe to our YouTube channel and start digging in and learning some of those things. But what I want to focus in is how to start the business, because that's the number one issue that most people get hung up with. They ask, how do I structure? How do I do that? How do I register? What do I do? There's two steps. Or at least in our state, I will say in Oklahoma, we can go to our Secretary of State free of charge, search that for your state. Go there. If you have a company name, I'm going to assume that you already know what you're going to do and maybe a possible company name. Go to your Secretary of State, search for the availability of that name. If it's available, the next thing you'll do is go to the IRS. You'll want a federal employer identification number. It's also called a FEIN. Sometimes you'll see it EIN. You can go there free of charge. You type in the information, the company name that you found was available in your state, type it in. You'll get some papers back from the IRS. It's free of charge. You're registered with the feds. Next thing you do is you go back to your Secretary of State. You enter that number, you enter the information, the company name, who's registering it. If you're registering it yourself, you put your name, your house address, wherever that location is. You don't have to have a company address. You can use your residence. And then for less than $100, you can register that name with the Secretary of State. You now have a legal binding business. Most people ask about the structure of the business, and for most, according to the attorneys that I work with in business law, they say unless you've got a partnership, investors, a third party, or anything like that, an LLC is appropriate to get started with. You can always amend, you can always change your structure. It's not something you want to do often, but just to get started. Again, this video is how to start a business, and I'm trying to help you get started as quickly as possible so that you can get on to the next step and get past the hang up that holds most people back from owning their business. So if you would like to discuss this more in advance, more technical, then go to our website, businessownershipsimplified.com. In the top right corner is a button. Click on that button. It takes you directly to my personal calendar. I offer consultations free of charge for 30 minutes. We can talk a little bit deeper about next steps, or if you have a hang up on you went to the Secretary of State or you still don't quite understand, I am open to helping any small business owner wannabe, if we can call them that. And also in return, if you could subscribe to our channel, like I said, we've got tons of videos. We've got well over 100 that you can go and pretty much find anything else on a small business that you could possibly be wondering. So I look forward to seeing you in the next session.